I am live on Instagram, live on Facebook. I am here with my friend Deborah Atkinson. Well, she's not on my Instagram yet, but she'll be coming on any second. I have no doubt. And I think what we're going to have to do is also turn your phone completely volumeless. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, bring you in here. Okay. All right.
Thank you. I needed that. I needed that lesson right there.
Oh, there we are. Good. Perfect. Okay, you have to turn your volume all the way down.
On my phone. Yes, I did. Are we doing okay? Do you have a little feedback?
We are having feedback, so I think what we. All right.
Oh, okay.
All right, how's this? Ooh. That's not better. We're going to get reports of ear damage here. Stop it. Yeah.
Well, moisture down.
Okay, let's see if that affects.
Okay, let's see.
All right. So let's get off of Instagram. Sorry, you guys. We'll be back.
Okay.
We tried. Here we go. We tried. We tried to do Instagram and Facebook at the same time. All right, we're back. We're back. So good. Good to see you, my friend. Wait, now I can't hear you. Nope.
How's this?
That is good.
Yeah, it's better when you don't click mute. Yeah, just
that is good. That is good. Yeah. And so I want to welcome everyone to this live. I'm here with the amazing Deborah Atkinson, and we're going to talk about no more dry January and exercise over 50. So I don't know about you guys listening, but one of the things that Deborah always, and she's from Flipping 50 TV, that's her brand, that's her URL. I mean, that's her website. That's her mission, is to get people exercising right for longevity, not just the number of years that we have, but the quality of years that we have. And when it comes to working out over 50, she is the go-to person. She is the number one authority in this place and space. And so what I was complaining to Deborah, because just a few months ago, we were in California together and we got to the gym at like 6 a.m., which is so good because it's 8 a.m. Central. So it wasn't too early for me. And and she put me through like such a workout. I hurt for 3 days. I've been working out hard here in Dallas. I've been working out hard here. So it's just one of those. Yeah. So anyway, so and she said, okay, just give me some weight bearing exercises. Really work the muscle 2 times a week. And I was like, oh, I can do 2 times a week. Not been doing it, Deborah. I've not been doing it.
So yes, you see my white collar. So I'm playing the priest here, and she's in the confessional. So that's where we're going. So here's the deal. So what's the big resistance? I know you like to work hard. I know you do.
I do.
Yeah. So what's getting in the way of you doing the weight training?
Um, Good question. Maybe it's just I have to go down into the gym and I actually have to pick up weights.
But you go to hot yoga,
I
right?
do, and it's so great because I hate going, but when I come out, I'm all sweaty and you know that I really worked out and yeah, and I can do that. It's like no problem. Like I do it. I was doing it 6, 7 days a week. Now I've had to back down a little bit. So 3, 4 days, and it's been travel and everything else, a facial, micro needling and can't do that for a couple more days and then more travel. And so, yeah. So there's my excuses. You
Okay.
forgive me.
Okay. So what do you know? I mean, you hate doing the yoga, but you love the way you feel when you come out.
I
Did
do.
you do you love the way you feel after strength training?
I don't know that I do. It's not the same feel. It's not the same feel. I don't get that high because of that intense high. And the yoga, it's in infrared. So it's like 100-degree heat and you really sweat and you're in a group and they're all doing it together and you're feeling more of that competition. Does
Mhm.
anyone listening like have that issue of going to the gym or lifting weights? Are you guys really good about are you guys really good about that? Please put in the comments. Do you just love going to the gym and lifting weights? And what gets you to the gym? And when you get there, do you lift weights? And what do you like about it? I mean, I want to hear from my audience because I am a big proponent, of course, muscle is magic in menopause. And so the yoga and the HIIT classes, sculpt classes, I get some 5, 10 pound weights every once in a while. And I'm doing that. I'm doing the leg lifts and hip lifts and squats and arm chaturangas, like 20 chaturangas in a session. So getting body weight, but I know it's not the same because I worked out with you and it was not the same muscles that hurt 2 days later.
Yes. Well, you know how you stop that hurting is you repeat. You just keep repeating and then it hurts less. That's for another day. So here's the deal. We got to come back to the aging, right? I mean, what do you know about supporting aging? What are your goals right now? You personally. So
Oh,
not Dr. Anna, but Anna,
she has
Anna,
me on the spot for sure.
yeah,
Well,
right.
I to be flexible, to be able to get off the floor without, using my hands, to be able to play. Like I have a grandbaby coming, Deborah.
Wow.
Next month, I have a grandbaby coming. So that changes one of my hats that I've been wearing all my life. It adds another hat to my existence. So now I'll be a Gigi Anna. Hey,
That is
Gigi
exciting.
Anna. I
Yeah.
think yeah, so that's something I'm really excited about. So what I know with aging, right? Again, I'm in Da Vinci 50. I'm a longevity expert and I know how important muscle is. And especially to not just look good as we age, that's not the reason, but we know that muscle is magic. It is a longevity. It improves our metabolism. Then I can eat more.
Mhm. This is true. You can eat more, you can have better sex,
Have
right?
better sex for sure. I mean,
With the lights on,
those
right?
pelvic floor exercises are something I do. I do that. Haven't done them with weights.
Yeah. Well,
My friend Mindy Jones Lee, she's a big advocate of that. I have to do that eventually. But I do have used Kegel balls and vaginal exercise balls. So my vagina's done some weightlifting. That's true.
this is good, right? That's a start. And it's a trilogy, right? Actually, like your lower abdominal wall, your transverses, toning, conditioning your abdominal wall, your inner thighs, and your pelvic floor. You get the three of them working together. You've even got a better, tighter drum there. But it has to be like major muscle groups, right? So you mentioned doing chaturangas, and you do 20 of those, and that's like doing essentially that's like doing push-ups, right?
Mhm.
So you are getting that, but if you're doing it one at a time, you're not reaching muscular fatigue, and that's the difference between how do you move the needle so that you actually maintain your lean muscle or you gain your lean muscle from that getting to the edge of reaching muscular fatigue.
And the other big piece I know is that better muscle, higher levels of muscle, higher brain cognition, right? Less dementia, less cognitive decline. And so that's another big piece. So that whole thing about fatigue, definitely fatigued at the end of class, but in burst, right?
Yes, super, super good clarification. So it's not just fatigue at the end of a workout, like I'm tired from the workout collectively, but at the end of a set of whether it's 10 or it's 15 or 17 repetitions, that my muscle doesn't want to go anymore. I need a little bit of a break. So we call it temporary fatigue or temporary muscle exhaustion, and you bounce back. A minute later, you could do that again. So it's not the kind of tired that lasts with you for days. So ideally, if I probably had been a little bit better trainer to you, you wouldn't have been sore for 3 days, right? Right. So
But
we
I
would
could do it. I could do it,
do it, and you did it probably with a smile, which is probably a fault of yours, right? It's just like, yes, I
Yeah.
could take it. I could take it.
I could tell you, I think it's just because there were muscles that I haven't worked, even though like really strong quads, even strong hamstrings, but certainly in the abdomen, the muscle, the back, the arms and back. Really, the back was one of those areas. It's like, oh yeah, and it's important, of course. Sides doing twisting exercises that we did, which I used to do a lot boxing, but I don't do it so much in my sculpt class. So, all right, I want to tell my audience who you are. This is Deborah Atkinson. She is the founder of Flipping 50. So you can find her and her programs online, and she is amazing. So we were chatting. So we thought we'd come online and chat about this with you guys. Holly said you should do what you love for exercise. I agree. I agree. And sometimes we hold back on what we love, like even going for walks, playing pickleball. It's been too cold for me to go play pickleball, but if I was a diehard, I would be going to play pickleball. Suzanne says, I prefer group activities versus weight training. I can't, if it was weight training in a group, Suzanne, I think you and I could do that. That would be better because it's the self-motivation thing that's a trigger. But Deborah's going to help us with this mindset. Deanna said, not a gym goer. I exercise at home. And Sherry said, I've got all my weights at home and do everything at home.
Perfect.
And Holly said, I am doing body comp workout online with Obey Fitness. I'm not familiar with that. And April said, me too. Me too. To what, April? To not liking to lift weights. I used to love it. Are you with me on that, April? I love you, girl. Good to see you. Claudine said, love Deborah and Flipping 50, using her muscle in minutes and knee-friendly exercises, seeing some muscles.
Yay.
Claudine, that's great. Good to see you here. So, okay, so what are we going to do to get over this mental shift? Oh, April's becoming a grandma. Congratulations, April. Oh my gosh, she's in the
That
girlfriend
was
club.
me
We're
too.
going to have a lot to talk about. Mhm.
So good. Okay, so I want to come back and comment on something. So in that comment of you should do what you love for exercise, there's truth to that, but we all also have to say we all have muscles, bones, and brains. And at some point, if our choices, our loves of exercise are not addressing those fully, our aging will be less than optimal. And that's just kind of a come to Jesus talk we've got to have that. If you love yoga, you still may be missing a strength component, and you still may be missing something that's actually going to help your bones enough. So there's some bone of benefit definitely from yoga or from almost any exercise compared to getting off the couch, but it's on a continuum. So if you have minimum time and you wanted the optimal bone benefit from it, there would be, here's your first choice, and then there would be choice 9 or 10. And you have to decide, am I going to go for the highest priority, or am I not? Am I going to gamble? And so think about, here's an example. My sister is a little bit older than I am, big difference between us. And for years, I've watched her start and stop and start and stop exercise. And she wants to be somebody who's regular and does it regularly. But until she and her husband took up ballroom dancing, she never, ever, ever could stay consistent doing exercise. And she actually came to it voluntarily when they were ballroom dancing because the strength training helped her posture and helped her dancing. And that was the first time ever in her life she'd been a regular exerciser. She was moving more doing the ballroom itself, but also she became interested in doing the strength training because it made this easier and better. And that, I think, if you can fuel the thing you do love and notice it's so much easier or better, and I enjoy it more because I'm doing the strength training, that's a way to maybe make some peace with that exercise that you don't love because now it has value.
Well, Gabrielle Lyon said one time, she goes, maybe she told Kellyanne Petrucci, because I was sitting with Kellyanne Petrucci, the famous bone broth tycoon. She's amazing. And Gabrielle Lyons is the muscle maven woman. I mean, she's just muscle is magic. That's her thing. And so she told Kellyanne, she goes, you have to earn your walks in order to, because she goes, I'll walk every day, an hour every day. I love it. And she goes, you have to earn your walks. You've got to lift weights in the gym. And Kellyanne told me, because we were sitting together at dinner, and she goes, since I've been doing that, I'm just stronger, faster, and I feel so much better. I can't believe that I was, like I was missing this piece. And I thought that was, so if you think of it like with ballroom dancing, I've got to earn the ballroom dancing. And I, again, thinking a few things. I'm going to go play, start playing pickleball again as soon as it warms up a little more. And two-step dancing, country dancing, it's full on here in Dallas. So I should start. Come visit me and let's go two-stepping together after our gym workout. Then we've earned our two-stepping.
Oh yeah, as soon as you move into your new house and you remodel my guest room, I'll be all over that.
Deal. We will do that. My 2-bedroom, 1,200, maybe at best 1,200 square foot condo gets a little crowded beyond me and Ava, but where there's family, there's floor, and certainly true for good friends. Certainly true. Here's Stacy Kiefer, and Stacy and I go back a long, long time. She's been, in my community a long time. She says, I am Gigi to 7 grand. And she said, tell me more about the complete pelvic floor exercise. Also, anything to overcome hot flashes. Girl, get keto green with us. And I love your hot picture here in your Facebook profile. That is a cool hot picture. I love it. Patriotism and sexiness all wrapped in one. So, Stacy, the biggest thing with hot flashes, certainly, it is about becoming more insulin sensitive, and that is number one. And so the keto green lifestyle really helps with that. Mighty Maca really helps with that. Muscle helps with that. Working to like really sweating it out helps with that. And that's another piece too. And, all the things we want to do in the keto green way, it's getting a good night's sleep. And then sometimes we add on progesterone, estrogen, adding on some good bioidenticals. We start in those steps, and that will really help, Stacy. Okay. Holly here is a fan. Body weight training can build muscle and strength as well. That is true.
It is. You just want to make sure you're fatiguing at, if you're truly looking at bone density, 10 or fewer repetitions, and we want more pulling than we have pushing. So if you're doing body weight, you want to avoid lots of push-ups. Only make sure you're also doing pull-ups. So you've got the balance, because our posture already is forward. We want to put them back, put them down.
Right. And I do want to comment on that too, because I've been doing the body weight for a while, and, in my sculpt class, and I love it, but it just hasn't pushed me in the other pieces that I'm missing. So to have that well-rounded, but it's enough for some people. And that's, Deborah, I think, would you say it's enough for some people, but it's not enough for others? I think, because I look at my yoga class and I see, when I'm doing yoga or doing sculpt, and I see just incredibly fit, toned, really amazing, women in shape. And I'll sometimes ask, what else are you doing? And invariably they are doing something else.
Yeah.
Invariably they are doing something else. And I always want them to say nothing, just this. But the ones that I'm like, wow, and especially over 50, and there's only usually one or two, if I'm not the only one there. And it's, it's really, it was interesting. But then some are just, do really well just doing that and look amazing too. So I find that's and again, functional exercises, doing functional exercises. And I think, Holly, that's what you're saying too. It's doing exercises that make sense for you. I mean, like, for example, jumping on a block. My friend Mindy Jones, I mean, she'll like jump on a 3-foot block. It's not happening with me. I am not able to do that. And
We start with 6 inches, right? We don't start with 3 foot.
so it's 3 inches.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Good point. And jump rope. Like, I used to not be able to jump rope.
Yeah.
Jump rope is amazing. And when I did boxing, boxing was amazing, but I still did, some other like calisthenic exercises for sure.
And
So
some of the things you're pointing out high impact, and we're looking at strength training and coming up with enough resistance for bone density benefits. And again, it's like the bar here that we're showing. There's a continuum of how much you help your bones. So from the couch to doing yoga to walking to running to body weight exercises to truly strength training exercises, we've got to look at what's the impact having on your body. So you should be measuring your body composition, looking at what's your muscle, making sure you're maintaining it or you're gaining it, but not losing it as we age. That's the goal. And looking at bone density. So at some point, what is that? What is that age when usually it's asked for, Anna? Is that 55, 60?
Seriously, it's 65, but you should
Yeah,
measure
right?
35. You should measure every 5 years,
Yeah,
frankly. Look for it yourself, measurement. Look
yeah,
at, because muscle does improve bone density.
yeah.
That is 1,000% true. So
But it's also the strength training that improves muscle. We can be talking about yoga and we can be talking about body weight, but that does not also impact bone. It's a different protocol. So the rules vary. So you can walk and you can run, and that's weight bearing, but it's also minimum effective stress. So once you do that, if you can walk or run a mile, walking or running 2 miles doesn't give you more bone density. You've already reached and maintained that minimum effective stress. So, in fact, doing more can actually support losses, because if you're losing weight, you're losing lean muscle or getting to the point where you're running so much you're muscle wasting, that's actually going to backfire against you. So we want to make sure we separate what's the protocol for muscle mass gain, what's the protocol for lean, and what's the protocol for bone density. And you're really following what you need to, or we're all complicated, right? So we all probably want, yes, I want all of those. I need all of those. And so we've got to really say, what are our highest priorities right now?
I think that is such a good point. And let's talk about, okay, what do we have to do? And you guys, I didn't forget about the topic, no more dry January. Like,
Yeah.
we're in my world, we're talking about that. Deborah's interviewing me on her program to talk about that. And that comes to Julva. We don't want dryness down there. So
Yeah.
say no to dry January in that aspect. We're going to be doing dry February as well. I just cracked myself up because Deborah came up with that. And she's like, oh yeah, I'm calling this no dry February, because we've got Julva. You've got Julva. No excuse. You should not have dryness with Julva at all. So we had a couple of things. Like, let's talk about, Claudine wrote in here a great comment. But one thing that we both disappear with this. Let's see. A little bit more of our heads. One thing is, like, how much do we have to work out, and what does that look like? And Claudine said, I'm just loving, she goes, I'm with you on doing things you love. I'm loving Deborah's philosophy of weight training, only 2 days a week and seeing results. She suggests other things on days like walking or yoga, but still not the hours we've been taught we need. Over 50 at shifts, you guys. You got to, yes. It is restoration work that we have to do. I love not feeling the pressure and stress to do long workouts that are actually not as effective for menopausal women. This has been wonderful. It's such a blessing to find the key to green lifestyle and flipping 50 to get stronger and healthier. Thank you, Claudine. That
Yeah.
is great.
So
So,
I wanna just kind of embellish on The flipping 50 philosophy, I would love to say it's just a belief system, but it's science. It's just the science on what's true for women in perimenopause and menopause. So, although, yes, my philosophy is let's use the science seriously. So, super important, but it does feel better. And that is the whole thing. We don't know, some of us, how good we were meant to feel. So if you're not feeling great, time to tweak your protocol.
Mm.
Yeah.
So true. Yeah, no, I agree completely. Okay, so what do we need to do? Where do we go to get some extra help in this? And how are you going to make me do it, Deborah?
Yeah. Well, you're not going to be a great Gigi without some strength, girl. Right? I mean,
Right.
yeah.
There's
So
like obviously there are many spokes on the wheel. And even though I'm doing, there's the aerobic and there's the high intensity one, the weight one, it's just missing it just a little bit. I just know I need to do a little bit, but
10 minutes twice a week. Can you do that?
I can do that. I can do that.
You just said it here on public TV.
Oh my gosh. Okay. You guys are going to hold me to that. Will everyone watching do this with me? Put yes and a heart in the, heart me, love me, whatever it is, follow me.
She needs
And
a lot
put
of.
it in the
She is
comments.
needy. Is she not needy, guys?
I am so needy. I am totally needy. I need total support over this. Yes. We're going to join your live classes and I've got to show up. I've got to be accountable. That is definitely okay.
Okay, so hold on. So I know somebody asked this a little bit ago, and I don't want to forget it. So she asked, tell me about the trilogy for the
Oh,
pelvic floor. So let me explain how that works. So first of all, you can all do this with me. If you happen to be sitting or standing, you can do this. Take your fingers and just splay them all and then lay them on like the bottom of your rib, your thumbs on the bottom of your rib cage, and your fingers are kind of on the top of your pelvic crest. So you can feel that corner of your hips. Take a deep breath in. Just expand. And then on the exhale, purse like you're blowing through a straw. And keep blowing out until all that air is out. And you're going to feel your waist kind of to get smaller and the muscles will contract. But keep going till you're empty. I mean, really force it. You're feeling your diaphragm kind of force that air out, out, out. And you can now feel your transversus abdominis, that muscle that wraps around you like a belt. You can feel what it feels like to contract that. So if that was brand new and you actually haven't felt that engagement before, when you're in class, maybe in yoga or Pilates or aerobics, and the instructor says, engage your core. There are a lot of people in the room who have no idea what that means.
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
And
good
this is
point.
what it means is to feel this, to feel that go on. But notice I'm doing it and I'm talking. So it's really easy to hold the core and then feel like, oh, I'm holding my breath too, but I don't even realize it. So you want to keep breathing and let yourself realize, okay, these are muscles. My lungs are up here. I can still breathe in, breathe out, and still contract at the same time. So we want to get that going on. And then if you have like a small ball, you don't have a ball, like a child's ball or yoga or Pilates ball, or just grab a pillow and squeeze it between your knees so you're also engaging your inner thighs. And then you do those Kegels at the same time. So now we have this three-legged stool, this trilogy going on. And that is the support that you really want. And so when your pelvic floor is stronger, your abdominals are also stronger. You'll be getting better abdominal contraction and strength in the core, shoulders to knees, as well as in your pelvic floor. One helps the other, and they kind of work like this integrated trilogy.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. That is great. I'm glad you caught that because I missed that. And
Yeah.
so Dina's here to support me. She's doing good. Claudia said, I've been weight training for 15 years now at 52. I haven't found any pre-workout meals that work to push me through workout. I do workouts in the morning, so I'm typically fasting with my workout. So I found that I do well with that. I used to do a keto green shake before my workouts, like 40 minutes or so beforehand. Definitely, I don't do that anymore. I fast through my workouts and I break fast sometime after my workouts. If it's like later in the day, typically 40 minutes after. But yeah. So what do you do? And I love your picture, Shonda. Thank you for sharing that. Gorgeous.
Yes. And I think too, it's you play with trial and error and what works for you. So I don't think across the board it's one thing or the other. I do think if you're struggling a little bit with energy through your workout, or you notice that when you don't eat, you feel like you fatigue sooner, you can't do as many repetitions, or you can't lift as heavy a weights, your endurance isn't as good, that may be telling you you'll do better with a little something even before. And the only way that you will know what's true for you is by testing it.
Yep, yep. We've got a lot of support here. Thank you, April. Thank you, Dina. Thank you, Nancy. Ah, love you back. Claudine, thank you. And Sherry, okay, and she lives for an hour every day.
Wow.
And Jill, yes, good. Holly's in for support too. Yes, you need to support Holly. Dina says she's been weight training with bands every other day and maca, vegetarian diet, feeling amazing.
Okay.
Hi, Mira. Don't go anywhere. Stay for a minute. Okay, my daughter's here. All right, and then talk about dry January and what you're doing and what you're doing with your groups, Deborah. And
Absolutely. So yes, so it's all about you. So we're talking about, what's going on. So even if you've got the pelvic floor and the Kegels going on, there are a lot of women in my community who are all, nobody asks this of their friends necessarily, except for the girlfriend, right here, the girlfriend doctor. But what I found as a personal trainer for almost 4
some people don't want to be my friends because they know I'm going to ask them.
Right. Well, and me too, because it doesn't come up. I mean, women often don't talk about this with their friends. And, sometimes you get to the point where you're not talking about it with your partner. If it's uncomfortable, there's a lot of discomfort and pain, and then you don't want to anymore. I would get questions when we were doing Flipping 50 TV seasons. I would get questions like, can you help me with libido? My husband and I used to be so hot, and now my libido needle is bouncing on 0. And I'm like, okay. So, a couple of things. You want to avoid the endurance training. You want strength training. You want short, high intensity interval training, but you don't want that long distance endurance running anymore. You want to make sure you're getting protein. You're not doing so much alcohol and you're avoiding sugar. But then if it's because you're dry, there's no lubrication naturally anymore right now, that's when you turn to something like Dr. Anna's solution with Jolva. And that's where we're going in. We're going to be talking about that on a podcast, right? With our audience where, I've had members try it, not just for the Jolva, and love that. But actually, I've had members come back and say, well, by the way, I tried it for that, but I didn't tell you. I've had bladder sling surgery for incontinence, and that actually didn't work, but this did. Jolva did. So,
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
yeah. So lots of support with both incontinence and with dryness, and just making everything a little bit more enjoyable again.
Yep, yep. And I think that one of those things, because with one of the things that I've used vaginal, like working with creating Java was exactly for that, to help with those accidental bladder leaks, to create strength. And I hear that all the time. And so many women, even in their 30s, 40s, are, struggle with bladder leaking. I did at 40. I remember working out, doing a HIIT class, and completely, I had light gray sweatpants on, completely, wet my pants. I mean, that was terrible. And I was like, oh my God, this is never going to happen to me again. And honest, I work out with these 20, 30-year-olds, And I don't even have to worry about it. Jumping jacks, whatever. It's a thing of the past. And so between pelvic floor exercises and Jolva, all of that is gone. Plus, working with my patients, I used to do, sling procedures. I used to do bladder sling procedures and surgeries for incontinence. And as I got smarter and I started using vaginal hormones, I didn't need to do them anymore. My patients would come in for their pre-op and say, Dr. Anna, I'm not having any more leaking. I ran 5 miles, didn't have an issue. And I love that because that's empowerment. And that's why we can't let, we cannot, it's not just about dryness and it's not just about sex, although that's very important. Pleasure in our lives is very important. And I say God designed us for pleasure. And it's an important, it's the best, it's the best medicine, honestly. So thinking like sometimes we think, oh, well, that's long gone. That's a thing of the past. No. And it's not just about sex, but it's important, like sex and physical pleasure. It is about, incontinence. It is about confidence. It is about, having the ability to do anything you want without a limitation. And that's like what you tell me is I get so passionate about this. And then I'm like, okay, well, I do my pelvic floor exercises, but okay, I got to do the other exercises too, because I don't want limitations. And that's why I wanted to bring Deborah on and share her with you guys. Isn't she amazing? She is just amazing. So Deborah, tell everyone where to check you out. And oh yeah. And so Jolva, you guys, Jolva, it's at dranna.com.
Yeah.
Love it, need it, and 100% money back guarantee. But, like oftentimes the biggest thing that sometimes, it helps your body create your own moisture. So if there's any dormant yeast, you might get a yeast infection. It happens to less than 1% of our users if they've had struggled with dryness for a while. Treat that one time and you guys will be golden. So Jolva. No more dry January.
No dry February either. That's right. Just in time for Valentine's Day, right? Yes. Okay, so you can find me at flipping50.com, all spelled out. That's our website, but flipping50 TV everywhere on social media. But I want to come back to, you don't want any limitations. And, just a few months ago, my mom passed away, 95 years old. And I mean, she made it to 95 and she really probably didn't exercise as much as I would have loved for her to exercise. But that was the limiting factor, right? And she was the proverbial example that I've shared with students in classrooms for decades, that you fall and then you get weaker than you were because of the bed rest that you have to have. Then you're more afraid of falling, so you are much more likely to fall from both of those counts. And that became, she fell in June and she was gone by the end of October. And if I could give anyone 80 or over, in a retirement community, a piece of advice: never, ever, ever go to a retirement community. Don't put your parent in a home that doesn't have a weight room in it, that doesn't get them in there and keep them active. Strength training. It's not yoga that will keep us alive. It's the strength training. We do need the mobility. So I'm not discriminating. I'm a yoga instructor, Pilates instructor, and you name it, I've got it. But that's the thing that will keep you alive for longer, thriving.
Yeah, it's the combination, right? Like I have to earn my yoga, earn my walk, right? Do both flexibility and balance, and doing yoga with your eyes shut. I mean, we really have to push ourselves. What's the next thing? How can I get better, stronger, more flexible, have better balance? Because those are things that really take its toll. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Holly wrote in here, Kegel exercises during sex, get 2 for the price of 1. I love it. I love it. I love it. And in typical results, I think if you're asking about Jolva, I mean, some people see results right away, and others, I say typically 6 weeks. I mean, this is 60 nights worth, so $69 for 60 nights. I mean, or days when you use it, and you can massage it in. Can be that part of your routine. You can put it on toilet paper and wipe with it. I mean, that's really powerful. It's good stuff. So just make it a part of your cosmetic routine, your hygiene, personal hygiene routine. It makes a difference, 100%. Really good. So thank you, Deborah, for being here. You guys, Flipping 50 TV, Flipping 50 TV. Check her out and flipping50.com. We love you guys and thank you for being here today. You know, Deborah, we just finished in my Keto Green 16 group. We did our 16-day challenge. And I've been visiting everyone. I'm at the tail end of my 72-hour fast because I cheated on day 1 of my fast. So that was day 14. Cheated a little, not cheated. It's not cheated. I feasted during my fast because I was out with a friend and, you know, in the spirit of camaraderie. I usually am very good. I'll say I'm just having, you know, water or Topo Chico or something, but nope, I had some guacamole, shrimp, and tequila I did. And so I had to start my clock over again. And here I am. But at the end now I'm like officially at 70, almost at 1 more hour to my official 72 hours of a clean fast. So yay, Tracy O'Day gives heart, Dina gives heart. Thank you guys for being here. Be sure to please follow Deborah at Flipping 50 TV. She's on social media. She's on Instagram. Follow us both on Instagram at The Girlfriend Doctor and at Flipping 50 TV. We like to show up there spontaneously too. It's just so easy. And so visit us there.
We're going
And
to be checking with you next week. You know that, right? Twice. You'll tell us that which 2 days you did strength
let's
training.
check in on IG. Let's do an IG live next week. I'm putting it in my calendar. I'm
Okay.
doing that right now. You guys, IG live at The Girlfriend Doctor next week, checking in on I'm traveling. I'm going to Lisa Nichols' bachelorette party. I'm going to be with JJ Virgin and oh yeah, they're going to make me work out. Okay, never mind. No excuses, right? Never any excuses.
No.
All right. Thank you guys. God bless you. Thanks for being here. Bye.
Everybody.
Bye everyone.
Happy New Year.
Be sure to share this. Share this on your page and tag me. I love spreading and sharing this good community because you guys are amazing. Should see the testimonials, Deborah, and my Keto Green 16 group. Go hop in there and take a look. They're amazing. They're amazing. And anyway, I'm going to get you in there just shortly. You guys, this has been fun. Thank you. I missed being live with my audience. I've been live for 16 days, and today was my first day that I wasn't live. So I couldn't break the streak. I had to come back too. And thanks for joining me, Deborah. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Thanks,
God bless you guys. See you later.